Okay, welcome. It's the first team call of the new year for Rising Phoenix International, and we are so thankful that you are here. We want to take a special just moment to, if you didn't see the news, our team is repeat elite, and that is due to the hard work of everyone on this team. It is a collective effort, and we just want to say, way to go, party people. Oh my gosh. This year, for a lot of reasons, we felt like it meant more than even last year. And not that last year wasn't amazing, but this year we felt like the growth that our team through was pretty amazing. So we're just super grateful for all your hard work, and we hope that you've had an incredible week just laying low and taking it easy and dreaming about what's to come in the new year, because we have a blank slate, you guys. Blank slate. So we really want this to be conversational for all of us as we talk about vision and action. VACTION. We're making up new words. VACTION. Well, I mean, like, if you think about it, like, if you can have a vision for your life, but if you don't take action on it, it doesn't really matter. Like, that's just a wish. That's not a vision. And so you have to have both together. You have to have this kind of concept of VACTION. Because really, truly, if we are going to help people become who they want to be, if we are going to help them discover that greatness within them, if we are going to guide them toward a plan that helps them live healthy, fulfilling lives, then we have to be crystal clear about where we're going. Otherwise, people aren't attracted to just unclear goals, right? Like, they're attracted to people who are moving in a direction, like they want to go somewhere, they want to be a part of a winning team, and they want to make sure that, or not make sure, that's the wrong verbiage,
if they're going to go on a journey, they want to know there's a destination.
Yeah, they need to know what your vision is, and they want to see that backed up with action. So we're going to talk about that today because it's January 1, it's a blank slate, everything is possible. And here's the thing that we know for sure, and I wanted to share this little reminder with everyone as we head into 2018. You know, Andrew and I got to go both to the leadership conference in Vegas, and we listened to an amazing speaker. His last name was Jason Jennings, and he talked about like the 4 or 5 secrets of people who have engaged, growing organizations. And one of them was this idea that growth is the reason for existence. And when he first said that statement, I was like, well, that's kind of like, I mean, the reason for existence is helping people. And, but he went on to say, and this really does make sense, that why this conversation we're about to have is so important, because we don't have this conversation, then growth can't really happen for you, for your business. But basically he said, we grow for the benefit of our people. That everybody, like we were talking about before, wants to be a part of a winning team. Everybody wants to make more money. And when do they want to make more money? Like, if you yesterday, like, think about that for a second. If I were to like ask a room full of people, like, how many of you want a raise? Everyone would be like, me. And if you then follow that up with saying like, well, when do you want that raise to go into effect? You would be like, yesterday. Like, let's do that now. Everybody wants to be a part of something that's growing. Everybody wants to feel and experience success now. So growth attracts the right kind of people. It engages the right kind of people. It gets rid of the wrong kind of people. It improves the futures of our families. And that's something that's super important for Andrew and I heading into 2018, is that it isn't about the Bowens. Like, we want to improve the future of your families. We want to mentor you guys in a way that sets your legacy up. It isn't about us. This is about the financial health of your families to us. It forces us to stay ahead of other customers and clients, like their needs, and like make sure we're anticipating. It helps us be cutting edge, to be growth oriented. It allows you to help more people. If you have a growth mindset, you are going to help more people. Obviously, that's just like a given. And it makes communities better places. I love that thought, because growth helps communities be better places, because if you are growing in your business, obviously then you have extra financial bandwidth. You can invest that back in your churches or in nonprofits or in organizations that matter to you. It actually like is this spirit of evangelpreneurship, if you will. Like you don't have to be just an evangelist or an entrepreneur. You can actually invest back into your communities. And so growth also makes everyone feel part of a winning team. If Andrew and I hadn't pushed past some obstacles this past year and our team, wasn't elite this year, then, we might not feel like we are all part of a winning team, but we really felt focused that we needed to persevere and push past some obstacles because like growth is everything. Growth is the reason for existence. And we want you all to realize that you are part of a winning team, right? And everyone contributes to that. So we are here to help you go where you want to go with your business. And so the conversation we're going to have right now is about how to make sure you are putting vision into action. So there are a couple books that you guys can write down that are great resources. And I promise I'm not going to be the only one talking. Andrew's got it.
I'm more on the action side.
He's storing it up. He's going to get on a soapbox, I have a feeling, here in a minute. But so here are some books that we feel are really, really beneficial. 12-Week Year, I've read that one. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it talks really about breaking down your goals into smaller bite size. So instead of thinking like big annual goals, you're thinking 12-week goals, quarterly goals. Think and Grow Rich. And then here's another one, super long title, is called Write It Down, Make It Happen, Knowing What You Want and Getting It. I'll say that again for those of you who are trying to write. I know it's super long. Write it down.
Which is the name of the book, not instructions.
Yeah. Write it down. Make it happen. Knowing what you want and getting it. All right. So this call tonight is all about helping us get on the same page for 2018. And when you are creating goals, and a lot of, it's so funny as I, continue on this journey and work with leaders, and even for myself to a great degree, like sometimes goals are super intimidating to create, because we don't want to set ourselves up for failure. We don't want to disappoint ourselves. And so sometimes we avoid the whole goal setting conversation because it's like, yeah, I know I need to do that, but I don't want to like set myself up for failure. So I'm just not going to make any goals.
Totally guilty.
And that way, anything I achieve, I'm winning. And the truth of the matter is, if you don't have specific goals that you are aiming for, guess what? You're going to achieve that. Like absolutely nothing. You have to have specific, measurable, actionable goals, SMART goals. And we're going to get to that. But we want to help you think more than just Beachbody goals. We want you guys to be thinking about personal goals, joy goals, like what makes you happy, what keeps you going. Like for me, my joy goal is to serve as a worship leader at my church, at least once or twice a month. That fills my cup. It brings me joy. It gives me energy that I can then pour out to this team that I love. That is my joy goal, if you will, is to continue to develop and be a better worship leader for my church. Do you have joy goals?
I have a joy goal this year that I haven't even shared with you yet.
Oh.
And that is to start training martial arts again. I got away from it last year. All the shift shop dedication, and we had to go all in. That meant I put everything on the back burner. I'm going to get back on a mat. And I haven't really decided whether that's back in the karate studio teaching again, or if that is doing jujitsu and learning.
I'm excited about that. So anyway, so joy goals, number one, think about what brings you joy and set some goals around that. This, Beachbody is here to give you a life, not to be your life. I think Lonnie and I had a little bit of that conversation today. And so definitely make sure that you are balancing your life out with joy goals. Like what are actionable, measurable things that you want to incorporate in your life? Personal goals. This could be anything from like, I don't know, I want to improve I'm not a runner, so I don't know the lingo, but maybe you want to run a 10-minute mile. Okay, personal best something. I don't know. But what personal goals do you have for your life? Now, of course, the topic of this for, what we're going to be talking about tonight, we're going to be focusing on Beachbody goals. What do you want your business to represent? And so right now, all we want to do in the context of this conversation is have you guys focus on Q1, right, the first quarter, the first 12 weeks, okay?
12 weeks.
So all of these questions that we are talking to you about, we really want you to think about them and, you know, ask yourself, where do you want to be by the end of March, y'all? It'll be here like that. And I don't say that to freak you out, but I say that, you know, after 3 years of being in this business, when you break your goals down into quarterly goals, it goes by so fast.
Yeah, it does.
But the beautiful part about that is that you learn to make really smart quarterly goals and then break it down into even 30-day monthly goals. You will know if you are on track. Okay, we can reverse engineer some things. So where do you want to be at the end of March? Now, realize also that's probably going to be like the deadline around summit recognition. So just think through that. Like, is there something special that you want to achieve in time to be recognized for it when we all go to Indianapolis? Which, by the way, oh my gosh, total tangent, but I'm not even going to apologize for it because I should have said it at the beginning. Y'all need to be in Indianapolis. What the heck? Like, that is non-negotiable. I went into a leadership page today and someone said, is summit really necessary to be successful in this business? I'm like, what the heck? Like, yes, it is. Yes, you have to go. And it's a total blast. And we have so much fun. And Lonnie, who is on this call right now, see her, she and Michelle Drysdale, they made the decision to go to Summit in New Orleans after like signing up to be a coach for like, what, 2 weeks?
Something like that. It was early.
I'm thinking if they can make it happen, so can you. And it's no shock to me that they ended 2017 as diamond coaches on our team. It's absolutely no shock to me because they got the information.
That's
and the
totally true. That's totally true.
That they needed to become new leaders. And so anyway, yes, you have to freaking be there. So please, we really want you there and we make it fun. Okay, phase one. We're going to bust this down into 3 phases of things that you need to think through when it comes to creating these quarterly goals, okay?
Hold on.
Yes.
This is not when it comes to the thing about creating these quarterly goals. It's come through and actually achieving these quarterly goals.
Thank you. You are my action police.
Phase 1 is about creating, which is her part.
Yes. Phase 2 is about
the action part.
Yes, and thing. Phase 3 is my favorite. I can't wait. Don't leave before phase 3. It's my favorite part. It's so important. Okay, phase 1. What do you want? What do you want? Oh my gosh, you guys, have you really thought about what it is you freaking want out of this business? What do you want out of your life? What do you want for your family? What do you want to achieve by the end of March? We will help make sure that it's realistic. Obviously, you don't want to, sit here as a new coach being like, I want to be a 15-star diamond. That's not
I want a 6-figure income by the end of March.
Not smart. Okay, that's not a smart goal. That's a wish. You got to set realistic goals. But what do you want out of this business? Okay, the sky is the limit. But you can let yourself dream big, dream crazy. Like, that's cool if it motivates you to like put the action behind it, which he's going to get to. But really ask yourself, like, what do you want? Okay. The second thing you need to ask yourself is why? Why do you want to achieve it? What does it mean to you? What is in it? What is in it for you? So this goal that you have, like, what is in it for you? Like when I remember specifically, we were shooting for 5-star the very first time. And I was like, I want to be a 5-star diamond. And it was like, why do you want to achieve that? What does it mean for you? And I'm like, I get to quit my job. And I am going to take my family on a vacation. And you guys, like, we talked about that as a family. And when we hit 5-star, I cried happy, joyful tears because it meant something to me. I get chill bumps just kind of thinking about that. I think I need to think of some more like why goals or my bigger goals for 2018. But yeah, you got to have a big why. You got to have a big why. Why do you want to achieve those things? And when do you want to do it by? Okay. So for the purpose of what we are talking about, think through end of March for your first quarterly goals.
90 days from today.
Yes, 90 days from today. Okay. So what do you want? What is in it for you? Why do you want to achieve it? And when do you want to achieve this by? Write a date down. Okay. So your answers to that, you can actually put them in a written statement. Like you can take all of your answers and put them in a written statement. And that is actually the beginning of your mission, like your VACTION. We'll call it your, your VACTION statement, your vision and action statement for Q1. All right. Now, the last thing you have to do in this first phase of goal setting is that you have to create a plan of action and know who will hold you accountable. Oh my gosh, we were talking, we were actually listening to this one story about accountability today that I was just cracking up over. So this gal who had like this personal goal, she reached out to her success partner and she was like, if I don't know why I can't do this, but if I can't get this done by the end of the week, like I owe you $100. Guess what? A week was way too much time. She procrastinated. She didn't do it. Her success partner made her pay the $100. I was like, pay up, Chica. You didn't get it done. That's a freaking success partner. That's someone who like holds you accountable. So she set another goal. She's like, I can't even deal with myself anymore. Like I got to get this done. If I don't get it done by tomorrow, I'm going to owe you $1,000. And she got it done.
That night.
Because she, you know, made herself launch into action and gave her a specific timeline and she got it done. And there was
because the
a
pain
consequence.
of change was less than the pain of staying the same.
Like you guys, like you have got to help create the right environment for someone to hold you accountable, whether that's weekly calls with us, or you have a success partner. Like everyone has a different personality style. I don't specifically, you know, I'm not motivated by success partner relationships. I have, you know, people who are push partners with me that if I get into like a negative energy space or I'm stuck, I can call them and they will help me get unstuck. But there are people who need those success partners where it is like a weekly push, you know, like if I don't, or sometimes a daily push. If I don't get my invites out today, like you could call me out on social media, like post I don't know, do something silly. But that's what accountability is, right? Ultimately, we can only hold ourselves accountable. No one can really make us do something that we're not willing to do for ourselves. But you can link arms with someone to help you follow through. So this is like the main point. Like it's not just enough for you to think through what you want to achieve, when you want to achieve it by, and why it matters to you. You have to be willing to submit yourself to someone else's help in holding you to that goal. I had to even submit my activity sheets to Stephanie when I was a brand new coach, even though we were like super close friends. And I thought, well, this is so silly. Like, of course I followed through. Of course I did what I was supposed to do. But I knew that she had enough track record of success. I knew it was a part of the process and I trusted it enough to just submit myself and do it. And that's what helped me move forward, you know, because I knew I had to be held accountable to that daily consistent activity that was going to help me reach my goals. So don't miss out on step number 4. You got to have a plan of action and you got to know who is going to help hold you accountable to the things that you said you wanted, that matter to you, and that you have a specific goal for. All right. That's super important. All right, babe.
Okay, so now we move on to phase 2. So phase 1 was all about setting your goals and understanding what's going on. Phase 2 is actually putting action to that goal. So I don't know how old a lot of you guys are on the call, but if you remember the old Franklin Covey planner system, which I was like the master at for a while. One of the things that they did in that, which was awesome, and it's the same concept, you began with the end in mind. So you began with, what is that big thing I want? If you read Good to Great by Jim Collins, it's the BHAG. Then you break it down into, okay, where do I need to be by X date in order to accomplish that? Where do I need to be by Y date in order to accomplish that? It's like building a house. If you start with a piece of dirt, in the first 6 weeks, you got to lay the foundation. But before you can pour concrete, you got to lay all the pipes and everything in there. So it's all these steps laying on top of each other. That's kind of what we did through phase 1 to get to those quarterly goals. Now we're going to break it down into, okay, what are the specific steps you need to take in order to get those goals? So maybe one of your goals is, I want to have 10 times more followers on Instagram than I have right now. Mm-hmm. Well, in order to do that, I mean, don't go buy followers. Don't do that. Yes, you can do that. You get the advertisers. Don't do that. But okay, well, how are you going to attract those people? I need to have a social media strategy that's in play. So you can go and say, great, I need to post every day. Okay, that's fine. We'll get to there, but let's talk about how do you effectively post. Mm-hmm. We want to get those tools to effectively post. So maybe it's building the hashtag list that you want, doing your research to understand that. And slowly over time, by going through a number of posts, utilizing stories, being able to post 3 or 4 times a day, you're going to build up to those levels to be able to see that 10,000 in there. But you've got to do those specific things. If it is, hey, I want to be a 2-star diamond coach, and I am a solid emerald right now, and I'm going to be, and I've got 4 on one side and 3 on another, and I'm not quite there. Well, number one, you're probably not going to be a 2-star diamond by the end of March.
It could happen.
It could happen. You can definitely lay the groundwork to be there. But let's put that in reality. In order to actually do that means you have to have both of your diamonds in qualification by the middle of February.
No. By end of March. The 6 weeks starts at the end of March, so they're good.
Not if they want it.
Yes, for Summit.
I'm not saying for Summit. If you want to be 2-star by the end of that, you've got to have already qualified. It's 6 weeks to qualify. But, okay, let's break that down. So let's say it was that. Let's say you did need to have, 15 new coaches.
Yeah.
How many invites does it take you to get to 15 new coaches?
So you would need, like, if you want to add 15 coaches to your organization in the first quarter, you could break that down and say, well, then I need to be adding an average of 5 coaches every month. Well, then ask yourself, how many invites do you need to do in order to yield 5 coaches to your team? And so, yes, that's part of what we do on our calls, is that we can help you reverse engineer your goals to make sure that they are achievable.
Right. And that's kind of the first part. It's part of being a SMART goal, as you said, is, it's specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. There's that timely on it. She's highlighting things she wants me to say.
I am.
Maybe you got to do this because I can't even understand what you wrote there.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So did you have anything else about the actions?
I've got some, yeah, but go ahead and do that.
No, go ahead.
No, please, because I'm not sure where you want to go with that at this point.
All I wanted to say is that in addition to determining like what small actions you need to take along the way. So if you want 15 coaches, that's 5 a month, which means you need to be inviting, 15 to 20 people a week or whatever in order to yield those 5 coaches. You also need to ask yourself, like, what and who do you need to know in order to reach your desires? So like what training or what mentoring or what, sorry, I'm reading like the same sentence. I'm like, yeah, that's totally not even clear. It's like cryptic. But anyway, like you need to ask yourself, like, do I need a training on social media? Do I need to take a training on inviting better? Or maybe I need to talk to...
There's not energy in my challenge groups. How do I bring more energy to that?
Yeah.
What issues I can do there?
Yeah. Ask yourself, like, what knowledge and who do you need to know in order to reach your goals? Maybe, you're at a point where you're like, I want to launch a business page and I want to learn about ads. Well, you would need to like figure out training and make sure you have a budget for the ads that you want to run on your page. Like, these are the questions that you just have to ask yourself, like, what information and who do you need to connect with in order to reach their goals? So yeah.
Right. So once you've done that and you've had this opportunity, it's time to, at some point, you're going to be making a to-do list or to-do list or whatever you want to call it. There are
That's
lots.
What I wrote in my notes.
Yeah.
To-do list.
I didn't know if that was another reference I didn't know about because I've already had 2 in this call already.
I might have been multitasking.
I thought it was ta-da! So anyways, the to-do list. Couple things with to-do lists. If you're the kind of person who loves to put checks in the box on a to-do list, let me give you a couple hard pieces of information here. We're going to prioritize these to-do lists. If the first thing on your to-do list is make a to-do list so you can put a check on it, that is not what we are talking about here.
That's why I have
drives me nuts.
15 notebooks all over
Oh
the
my
house.
gosh. And she will put 4 things on there that she can check off just because she's checked them off. No, we want to prioritize these things. And we also have to think about the timeliness of them. If there's something you need to do early to make your later things more effective, do those first.
Yeah.
Back to Instagram. If I really want to make my Instagram reach go out further, well, I need to, what does Instagram work on? It works on hashtags. I've got to figure out the hashtags that are the most effective to attract the person that I'm looking for. I also have to figure out who the person I'm looking for is in order to know what hashtags actually work on that.
Are we talking about Avatar? We need to talk about Avatar.
We have not talked about Avatar.
Oh, it comes down here. Okay, we got to keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Just let me do my thing. I'm going to hit all the points. I promise.
It's our first co-led call.
So, but that is the thing. You got to start with who are you trying to reach and what reaches them. And if it's Instagram, what are the hashtags that feed them? If it is Facebook, what are the groups they're involved in? You know, you've got your own jam. Let's figure out how that actually goes. But you've got to know what who you're talking to. And oftentimes you've got to think that's probably the person you were before you started your journey. That's your avatar the most time. And we talk about avatars, so what's that person that's out there? If you had to describe them and you created a gaming world, that gaming character, what's that avatar? That's what it would be. For me, it is probably, I've got two avatars that I talk to, actually. I've got the avatar I want to talk to and the avatar I actually talk to. So the avatar I want to talk to are the guys who are 30 to 45 years old, have kids, are fighting the battle of the bulge, want to put their family and their work first and balance their whole life. That's kind of what I want to talk to. Who do I mostly end up talking to? Their wives. What ends up happening.
It's so awesome because like we're in this leadership group and there was this other guy that, you know, was talking about like who he attracts. He's like, well, mostly women. And I'm like, yeah, see, it's universal. If you're a guy, you probably are going to be attracting a lot of women because women make a lot of the purchasing decisions, and that's okay. You'll get to the men. We are learning that we can get to the men through helping the women, and that is perfectly okay. I will tell you that you want with your avatar, yes, it is typically that it's you before the breakthrough or decision. And this is important, once you stopped making excuses. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you're only talking to your avatar and it is that before the breakthrough or the decision, but you know, not the I stopped making excuses about it. Like if you leave that part out of your avatar's narrative, you're going to start to attract people who have lots of excuses. It's so true. You need to really be sure that you are communicating in a way to that person that it is before, like if you got to just picture who you're talking to. It's before the breakthrough, the decision, and when you stopped making excuses. That's the person you want to talk to. And they will resonate with that, and they will want to take a next step with you because they desire that for their own lives.
So before we move out of phase 2, I've got one more thing to talk about in phase 2.
Okay.
So you know what your goals are, you know what these individual steps are, you put your to-do list together. I now want you to do something else to the to-do list. I want you to rank it. I want you to see what's high value, what's low value. Again, if you're the old Franklin Covey folks, ABC tasks. A has to get done. B should get done, assuming I've got the time. C is, it's great. I might want to do that at some point to know which one. If you want to have ideas on what are the high value versus low value, go look at the business activity tracker. Those activities are on there for a reason. They're the ones that drive results. But I also want you to really, really think about a don't do list. Here's my to-do list. Here's my don't do list.
Stop scrolling Facebook.
And that includes scrolling other coaches' pages for ideas.
Seriously, you guys, put the blinders on and just be you. You are enough. You are capable, worthy. You are enough. People want to be with you. We're going to get to like that mindset piece here in phase 3. But the business activity tracker is designed to help keep you focused on the business building activities. That's why they put it together. They're pretty smart people. And what helped me a ton, I started setting a timer. Like I literally, now I have it on my tracker tool, but I used to use my phone. And I would set my phone for 30 minutes or an hour, right? Because I loathe follow-ups. They're so hard. I feel like, oh my gosh, I don't want to follow up, you know, like crickets or whatever. And it's not crickets, it's just that I got to follow up. But for whatever reason, it's mentally hard for me. But at the moment I set a timer, I'm like burning through them like crazy. I'm so productive. I'm not scrolling. And then when the timer goes off, I'm done.
Search for phase 3 with the business activity tracker.
Siri on his iWatch just started
Siri's
talking.
looking for the phase 3.
Anyway, all right, let's move on to phase 3.
No, wait, one sec, because I realize you don't have something in phase 3 that is critical to phase 3.
Oh no, what?
Evaluate what you're doing. As you're going through and you see things in phase 1 that you're doing well that work, do more of that.
You mean phase 2? Yes, like in a task.
Right. In phase 3, go back and look and take a real hard look and say, hey, this worked well. This didn't. If it doesn't work, don't keep doing it.
Yeah. Ask for help, for crying out loud. Don't keep spinning your wheels. But yes, phase 3, you got to review and evaluate. And one of the main things of phase 3, that this is going to be such a cathartic exercise for every single person in this team. You got to let go. This is about letting go and moving forward, okay? This is so critically important, y'all. Like, you need to start 2018 with a fresh slate. And so what we are about to talk to you about, did I just like say what we are about to talk to you about?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We've been talking for like half an hour.
I'm so
about this.
Exhausted from talking. So what we're about to say are some questions that can help you let go of whatever is in the past, okay? And get in the right mindset to make yourself available and open to all the possibilities and all the goals and the VACTIon that you have for your business, all right? So number 1, this is so critically important. Phase 3, here we go. Number 1, I want you to list only two and only 2 disappointments from the past year and how they helped define you. Let me say that again. List 2 disappointments from the past year and how they helped define you. Only 2, because we could make a crazy long list, all of us. We could list all of our failures and all our disappointments, and we would have like a novel. And that's not the point of this exercise. That's not the purpose of this. I only want 2. The first 2 that come to mind, the first 2 disappointments and how they have helped define you. The next thing I want you to do is list 2 of your greatest achievements over the past year. They could be anything, all right? But I want you to list 2 of your greatest achievements over the past year. And then the third thing I want you to do is list your 2 dominating thoughts. Now, what I mean by that are really your limiting beliefs, okay? These are limiting beliefs like, I don't have any time to do this business. I don't look like the other coaches. I'm not as smart as that person, or creative. I can't make graphics like that person, or I can't use social media like someone else. Like
why would someone want to follow me?
Right. All of those things are limiting beliefs. You need to let them go, and you need to confront the lie that is playing in your head and then speak the truth. So what are these limiting beliefs? And then speak the truth into those limiting beliefs. Because you need to like sever their tie in your mind. So if you think like, well, I could never learn how to do I could never learn how to do social media. I'm totally teachable and can figure things out. Or I could, I don't know, what are some limiting beliefs?
So the point of this is to also make sure that you are creating your own affirmations to help you get over this hump. People would never want to follow me. I'm the type of person that people are inspired by, and my story is motivating.
You're so good at that.
You have no idea how bad at this I am. Limiting belief. That's my limiting belief, by the way, guys. What's another one? I can never lose the weight. My body is capable of doing amazing things.
Oh, the one that I think is so powerful is like, I had a leader tell me, never use the B word, broke. Like, I don't have enough money in order to make this business work. You need to like change that broken record by saying like, money comes freely to me, and I believe that the world is abundant. You know, like you've got to identify those 2 limiting beliefs and then expose them for the lies they are and speak that positive affirmation over it. So if success leaves clues, right? Like if the most successful leaders in the world are creating affirmations, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we take a moment to like just start with one affirmation that you're going to write down and speak positivity over your life and put them up on your mirror and like read them out loud every day. Why wouldn't we try it? Why wouldn't we try it? Just one. That's what I challenge you to do. So 2 disappointments and how they've helped define you, 2 of your greatest achievements, your 2 limiting beliefs. We're going to speak the truth into those. And I want you to create one affirmation, one positive affirmation that you can read on a daily basis. Okay. So I feel like, do we have time to share that story about the monkey?
I'm not sure where you're tying the monkey story in at this point.
Well, it's about letting go. It's about letting go.
Okay, so limiting beliefs in the monkey. Does anyone know how in ancient times and actually in modern times,
India, they do it now,
how they hunt monkeys? Like, do you know how they actually trap a monkey? So here's the thing about monkeys. They love fruit. So what they will do is they will set up a box with a hole that's big enough for the monkey's hand to get actually through. And they will train the monkey that there are treats in the box. So leave nuts and seeds and stuff like that. So the monkey is able to get his hand in the box and pull stuff out. Until one day they put in an apple. And the monkey will go in and it will grab the apple. And now its hand is too big to actually get out of the hole. It will not let the apple go. It is so fixated on the fact that it has to have that apple, that it has to have the fruit. It will literally not think to, as someone is coming up to grab it, to actually trap it and put it in stew.
Ew, what did you come up with that?
I've been cooking all day. Instead of letting it go and running away, it will hold on. And it literally traps itself because it's so fixated on holding on to that one thing. That's our limiting beliefs. We are so fixated on this thing being a truth, when the reality is all you need to do is let it go, and you can completely move on and keep yourself safe. You can believe something completely different. You can have a completely different track running through your head. So the moral of the story is don't be a monkey.
Don't be a monkey. So, but honestly, when you let go, it opens you up for change, for all the change that you need to make in your life in order to reach your goals. Okay, we're going to end this, and then we'll take some questions and discussion. I really do want to talk about some of this. But here are some extra bonus questions that we want to leave you with that will help you really think through what you want to achieve in 2018. So here we go. You ready? You're going to write these down. What kind of impact do you want to make next year? What kind of impact do you want to make next year? How do you want to be remembered? What will you and your team celebrate? Yes, I know we are a team, but guess what? You're going to have a team too. So what are you going to celebrate with your team? Why will this year be different? And then finally, what's the story that you are going to tell your family about 2018 in the future?
I got one. That was my favorite.
What's the story that you're going to tell your family about 2018 in the future? Okay, so the questions are, again, what kind of impact do you want to make next year? How do you want to be remembered? What will you and your team celebrate? Why will this year be different? And what's the story that you are going to tell your family about 2018 in the future? I literally urge you to take these questions and write out your answers. And then, oh, we never even plugged in. And then, squirrel, I want you to write out your answers and then put them in a sealed envelope and open that letter back up on January 1st, 2019. Okay? I really urge you to write that letter to your future self on paper, okay? On paper, and then put it in a sealed envelope and make a promise to yourself to open it up on January 1st, 2019.
Now, if you want to hammer it in a stone tablet instead of writing it on paper, I guess you can.
Well, you can type it. I think there's something really good about writing it out, though. I do. I really do. Okay, so now we're gonna stop the recording right now, and then we will open it up for a little popcorn back and forth because we got about 10 minutes. So I'm glad you guys are here.